You ever been out on the open road past midnight? Not just driving through a city or going from one suburb to the next. I mean the real road, the kind that stretches through farmland and mountains and long, flat desert plains where the stars seem so close you could scoop 'em right out of the sky if you reached high enough. That's where I used to spend most of my time, behind the wheel of my old rig, watching the world slide by 1 mile at a time. Name's Carl, by the way. Carl Bennett. I drove trucks for a good 40 years, and let me tell you, I seen just about everything a man can see on this earth. Beautiful things, ugly things, strange things, and some things, well, some things ain't got no name at all. This story I'm gonna tell you, it ain't one I share often, not because I'm ashamed of it or anything like that. It's just, I don't want to spook folks, especially not kids. But you're grown now, and I figure if you're listening, maybe you've spent some nights in the dark yourself, wondering what's out there. So pull up a chair, get cozy, and if you hear a tapping at the window, don't worry, probably just the wind. This happened back in '94. I remember it because it was right after I'd bought myself a new thermos, big old stainless steel thing that kept coffee hot for hours. I'd been running a long-haul job from Amarillo down through the Texas Panhandle, cutting into New Mexico, then heading west toward Flagstaff. I'd taken that route before, lots of open sky, long stretches with nothing but jackrabbits and the occasional tumbleweed. I usually liked those drives. Peaceful, you know? Nothing but the hum of the tires and the crackle of a late-night radio station that faded in and out as the land rolled on. I left Amarillo around 7 p.m. The sun was just starting to dip below the horizon, painting the sky all kinds of orange and purple. Real pretty sight if you like that sort of thing. I had a good load, nothing hazardous, just dry goods. The trailer was full, my tank was topped, and my old Kenworth was purring like a kitten. I figured I'd drive through the night, make it to Gallup by sunrise, catch a few hours sleep, then push on. But somewhere around 2 in the morning, just west of Tucumcari, things started getting weird. Now, I've always said there's a special kind of quiet that lives out there in the desert at night. It ain't the same as silence in your house or even deep in the woods. This kind of quiet is thick, like the land itself is holding its breath. I'd just passed an old gas station, one of those beat-up places with a single pump and a flickering neon sign that said open, even though it clearly wasn't. I didn't think much of it. I see plenty of dead stations like that, but not more than 5 minutes later, my CB radio crackled. At first, I thought it was just static, but then I heard it, clear as day. "You missed your turn." It wasn't a voice I recognized, and it didn't sound like a trucker. It was low, real low, like someone whispering right in my ear, even though the radio volume was way down. I reached over, flipped the switch off. "Must be picking up interference," I muttered, but then I looked in my side mirror, and for just a second, I saw headlights behind me. Not far back either, maybe 30, 40 feet, real bright ones. But when I looked again, nothing, just the dark. Now, like I said, out there on those roads, things can play tricks on your eyes. Between the darkness and the hum of the engine and miles of nothing, your mind starts seeing shapes in shadows. But I've always been a careful man. I don't drink, never did drugs, and I made it a point to get decent sleep when I could. So what I saw next, it wasn't some dream or fatigue. About 10 minutes after that voice came over the CB, I saw something on the side of the road, a shape, just lying there in the ditch. At first, I thought it was roadkill, maybe a deer or something bigger, like a hog. But as I got closer, I realized it wasn't an animal. It was a man, lying still, face down, wearing a dark coat, no shoes. I slowed the truck, pulled over onto the shoulder, didn't get out right away, just sat there for a minute, engine idling, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. It was cold out that night, not freezing, but chilly enough. You wouldn't want to be lying in a ditch without shoes. I reached for my flashlight, cracked the door open, and stepped out. The air was still. Not a breeze, not a sound, no crickets, no bugs. Even my truck felt quieter than usual. I walked up slow, boots crunching gravel. "Hey," I called. "You all right there, friend?" No answer. I got a little closer and leaned down with the light. But there was nothing there. Just dirt. No footprints. No sign of a struggle. Just empty space where that man had been.